In this clip, Pete Hegseth gets called on the propaganda he's trying to spread about the Iran war, because we were told months ahead of this war that we had completely obliterated Iran's nuclear capabilities. They can't make a nuclear weapon. We've taken them out. Their facilities are gone. We have wiped them off the face of the earth. They don't exist anymore. They are a thing of the past. Yet we went to war because it was imminent that Iran was going to nuke us, or at least our allies or assets in the region. So when Pete Hegseth is called on this both sides of the coin bullshit, he uses the argument that, well, but they never gave up their intent. Well, intent doesn't mean ability. All right? I could look you in the face and tell you I intend on running the Chicago Marathon in October. Your eyes will tell you that's not going to happen. Intent does not mean ability. And he doesn't know how to explain his way out of this.
It is worth noting that every president prior to this one, including President Trump in his first term, also prevented Iran from getting a nuclear weapon without actually having to go to war in Iran. So we need to keep that in mind. But also, since the war started, Iran's nuclear arsenal has not been weakened in any way. And at the moment, in negotiations, what Iran is saying, basically pay us to open up the Strait. That's their position, which is completely untenable. I agree. It's worth noting, of course, that the Strait was open before the war started. Now we're negotiating to get back to status quo. And Iran's most recent offer is to say, we'll talk about nukes later. So what is the plan to actually turn all of this lethal kinetic action into an improvement in the nuclear situation? Because we haven't gotten there yet. Play it out for us. How does that happen? How does it actually lead to that result?
Well, I would take issue with the premise of the question that nothing was done. Operation Midnight Hammer was a very effective.
Well, I didn't say nothing was done. I said in this war.
Ultimately,
this war started.
Well, this is under this administration, unlike other administrations, which cut bad deals and pallets of cash with no ability to oversee whether Iran is actually pursuing a nuclear program. So if we want to litigate JCPOA or the Iran deal, our view, the president's views, that was a very bad deal.
Okay.
That gave them a bunch of money up front.
What's the future?
To fund, you talked about negotiated deals. Allowed them to fund their proxies and spread Hamas and Hezbollah all around the region, build up nuclear capabilities.
What are we going to do now?
President Trump has been clear-eyed, from the killing of Qasem Soleimani to the pulling out of the Iran deal to Midnight Hammer and now to this effort to recognize that you have to stare down this kind of enemy who's hell-bent on getting a nuclear weapon and get them to a point where they're at the table giving it up in a way that they never have it.
So they haven't broken yet. Okay, we haven't gotten there yet for all of the...
Well, their nuclear facilities have been obliterated. Underground, they're buried, and we're watching them 24/7. So we know where any nuclear material
reclaiming
might be.
My time for a quick second here. We had to start this war, you just said, 60 days ago, because the nuclear weapon was an imminent threat. Now you're saying that it was completely obliterated?
They had not given up their nuclear ambitions, and they had a conventional shield of thousands of missiles.
So Operation Midnight Hammer accomplished nothing of substance. It left us at exactly the same place we were before. Much so
their facilities were bombed and obliterated. Their ambitions continued, and they're building a conventional shield.
All right, let me try again.
It's the North Korea strategy. You know this very well. The North Korea strategy was use conventional missiles to prevent anybody from challenging them so they could slow walk their way to a weapon. President Trump saw Iran at its weakest moment, took an action to ensure, in a way that only the United States of America could do with our Israeli partners,
and yet
to ensure their conventional shield was brought
one
to
other question,
we've done.
if I could get to it.
We've obliterated their nuclear facilities. We've obliterated their nuclear capabilities. Yet nuclear war was imminent because they never gave up their ambition for a nuclear weapon. It doesn't matter how much ambition they have. If they don't have the capability, they can't just magically make a nuclear war imminent. It doesn't work that way. Nuclear programs take months and years to build. You said you wiped them out. They're gone. They don't have the capabilities. They can want all they want. It doesn't mean jack shit. I want to be in Italy right now. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. You know what I mean? If you guys are falling for this line of shit, you're exactly the reason why we have the situation we have right now.